Hi guys, today I'm joined by Natasha, another AuDHDer, social worker, accredited ADHD coach, and a neurodiversity coach who honestly creates some of the only neurodivergent resources that don't make me want to throw my phone across the room. She is the other half of AuDHD and some, and let's just say she's the brains, but also the beauty. Hi Natasha.
Hi, Ellie.
I was just telling everyone how much I love your books.
Oh, thank you. But I want to correct you. You are the beauty.
What about the brains? Can I not be the brains?
I let a little bit of the brains
A
go.
little bit.
Just
I'm the
yeah.
mouthpiece. I had to drag Natasha on to do a podcast today. She's so amazing and intelligent and great at making resources, but podcasts and videos aren't her favourite thing. So this is a little out of her comfort zone, but we're doing it, aren't we, Tasha?
We're going for it. So if I lose my words or my train of thought, I apologise in advance.
We will forgive you. Okie dokie. So we are on Patreon, aren't we? You and I, Tasha. We've got a Patreon account, and I just wanted to explain to everyone because I always refer to our Patreon account in my podcast, and I just wanted to tell people what Patreon is because I'm bloody damn proud of it.
Yes, me too. We've put a lot of work into it, and I
We
think it's
have.
it's going to be really, really supportive for ADHD adults.
I think
Um,
it's amazing. So basically, if you come over to our Patreon, what it is, it's like a little subscription. There's a free one and a paid one. I think it's something small, like £5 a month. But for that £5 a month, you get a hell of a lot of stuff. I counted this month, Natasha, that we've released like 25 paying members things as well as free members stuff. So we've released one of your resources, which is a book that you sell on Etsy, which is normally like a tenner. We release that at the first of every month for all of our paying subscribers. What else do we have on there?
I think we've tried to create a subscription where we have lots of different things for different people at different stages of their AuDHD or ADHD journey. So we have I make self-paced workbooks and resources in
Mm.
on all different AuDHD topics. So it could be burnout, masking, or
Yeah,
unmasking.
we kind of try and stick to one a month, don't we? What's it been this month? ADHD's hit me. It's been burnout.
Burnout.
And
Yes,
and
it's
next
burnout.
month is masking, am I right?
Yes, masking, because I think that's a really big topic at the moment, especially for a lot of late diagnosed
A hundred
AuDHDers
percent.
like the two of us.
I've met so many people lately that like who am I without the mask? So I think that's so relevant. So we're just keeping with topics that are relevant to all of our community. And we've got quite a few subscribers already and people have found it really helpful. And to be honest, Tasha, your books you're selling them at about £10 each. So paying 5.99 for the subscription, you've already made your money back straight away, really. And plus you get a lot of other stuff all out throughout the month.
Absolutely. So yes, you get the one booklet, comprehensive booklet per month to work through, but you also get access to two of the previous ones. You get access to small tools, scripts, and things you can use practically in daily life
Yeah.
for your AuDHD, as well as all the lovely things Ellie also you provide, which is the relaxation and the additional content from your podcasts. And we also provide audios and tips and strategies on how to manage AuDHD life, real daily life, because nobody ever tells us that. We almost get our diagnosis and then we just get sent away with no actual practical advice of, well, what do I do now? So that's what AuDHD and then
I
some, I think,
think
is what
the
we're trying to
beauty
create.
of it is the fact that you create the resources. So there's like two ways to take the information in. Some people are very visual people, and some people learn really well through books. Some people learn really well through analysis and podcasts. And although we're both, professional people, some more professional than others, Natasha, we're still very much AuDHD women, trying to juggle very neurodivergent families, trying to juggle work, and we know exactly what it's like, and we know what kind of advice people want. And you're accredited in a lot of different things, so you have the expertise behind it as well.
Yes, exactly. I think from my perspective, I come from it from both a professional lens, but also a personal lens as a AuDHD late diagnosed female, but also an AuDHD parent with
Yeah.
children with AuDHD, as well as doing that professionally and learning from a professional point of view. So that's where all my kind of experience goes into all my resources, which I love creating. They're my special interest.
And do you know what? They are, I resources, if you're not a visual learner. So, as I said earlier, in our Patreon, the thing I like about it is there's absolutely something for everyone. Where there's visuals, there's funny stuff, there's something for everyone. But even if you're not a visual learner, I find your resources actually really satisfying. I think they're very pretty. I love the colours in them. I think they're very easy to read, and they're easy to pick up and flick through and start, and also you can print them off as PDFs, can't you?
Yeah, so they're digital, printable, accessible straight away, and I try to make them so they're easy to digest, not lots of information, breaking them up a little bit so they're not too overwhelming, because we know a lot of us are already in burnout,
Yeah,
or on the
exactly.
edge of burnout most of the time. So, but I cover so many different elements of AuDHD. So whether you're just starting or further in your journey, there will be something there for you to make use of.
And I know how amazing they are because it's actually my job to upload these books to Etsy. And I've been uploading and we've been selling so many of them lately. And the reviews for them are, Tasha, I've got to give it to you. I don't want to make your head big. The reviews from are great. People are loving them.
Yes, if you want to check out the Etsy store, it's Flourish ND Hub, and that's got all of the resources, all of it's a selection of guides, toolkits, workbooks with reflection pages, so you can work through it, personalize it to you. And if you want to check them out, there's always new ones being added because, like I say, it's my special interest. So
Yeah.
I'm making them all the time, and then I make an Ellie upload them because
Yeah.
I procrastinate about
I'm
the uploading
loving
part.
life. we're a,
She
we're a
loves it,
dream
Lily.
team. Yeah. So Tash, what do you think neurodivergent people are struggling with most emotionally right now?
I think from my coaching that I do, but also just from talking to neurodivergent people and just being in neurodivergent circles, I think a lot of us are just exhausted from trying to exist in systems and environments that are just
Not made for us.
not, yeah, just absolutely not made for us. The world is very loud, it's very bright, it's very neurotypical, it's very productivity driven.
Hmm.
And I see a lot of shame and grief and overwhelm in a lot of people, especially late diagnosed
Yeah.
people, now realizing that they're not lazy, or they're not
Because
like
we've
just too
believed
much or
that. A lot of us have believed it our whole entire life. I grew up with the narrative like, oh, Ellie, you're a bit lazy. Oh, Ellie, you can't really do this. Oh, Ellie, you're not very quick. So I've internalized this my whole bloody life. And only now am I like, actually, there's a reason and it's validating.
absolutely. I completely relate to that. For me, I wasn't told that I was lazy, although a lot of people are told that.
Yeah.
For me, it was you're too sensitive. Oh, you take it on too much. Oh, why does that bother you?
Yeah, it's so
Um,
dramatic. You're very
yeah,
highly strung. You've got a chip on your
yes,
shoulder.
yes. Try and harden up, try and toughen up. And I
Yeah.
think it creates this like huge weight as you get older, that you mask and you
Yeah.
suppress all of
I
that
think
because
I'm
of the
so
messages you've
many
got.
negative things. I think I am just so many negative things. And sometimes even these things are said in jest, like by my parents when I was growing up. But I just internalized so much of it. So learning that actually there is a reason why sometimes why I'm like this, it is a validation. And I think a lot of late diagnosed people are just going through that validation right now.
Definitely. And I would add to that we've spent years trying to appear fine and internalizing everything, every bit of overload, every bit of sensory overload, anxiety, burnout. We've been internalizing that. And I think following kind of the biggest things that we struggle with, which was your original question, I would also say, or end with that question, with burnout, because all of this results in burnout
Yeah.
ultimately. And a lot of people our age or younger or older
Yeah.
are, I think every single person, like neurodivergent person I work with,
Are
is
going
either
for
in
it seems
burnout
to be
or,
a pandemic at the moment of burnout, I think.
yes, yes,
It's so many
100%.
people. Do you think that normal, let's say normal, let's say neurotypical advice does work for us or doesn't work for us? What makes our resources different?
I think that kind of traditional advice assumes that everybody is the same. So we've all got the same brain, nervous system, the same energy levels, the same sensory needs, and the same ability to plan, organize, the same working memory. Whereas a lot of the neurodivergent advice that I've been given in the past, before I really knew what I had, was like, use a to-do list, or just be
Yeah.
consistent, or just make a routine and that would be fine. You
Yeah,
just got to
just
get into
get
a
a.
routine.
I remember when I had my children and everyone be like, "How's your nighttime routine?" And I would think, "Oh my God, fucking chaotic." But everyone be like, "Yeah, you just need to get into a routine." But people don't understand that that isn't for everyone and it's not something everyone can execute. But especially when you're like, I'd say half autistic, half ADHD, because the autistic part of me really bloody needs a routine, but the
Yes,
ADHD part of me
yes.
just can't do it,
Tug
and
of war.
it's horrible.
It's a lovely, lovely tug of war,
Oh, it's
internal tug of
horrible.
war that
It's
goes on. But I think that the neurotypical advice, it assumes that we can rely on those skills, that actually ADHD, autism, burnout, anxiety really significantly impact, and it ignores the additional emotional challenges
yeah,
or executive functioning challenges that we experience. So transition difficulties, or demand avoidance, or
the demand
RSD in
avoidance is a
people.
bit. Yeah, RSD, 100%.
Yeah, RSD, sensory overwhelm, time blindness, all those things, those words that we hear, they are genuinely things that are valid and we really, really struggle with. And traditional advice focuses on behaviour, not capacity, ultimately. And I think that is the main issue, is that it's a very different way and lens of giving advice. Whereas the resources and AuDHD and then some, our Patreon membership, I think because we are very much, we've got a lot of lived experience between the two of
Bloody
us.
lot. Do you know what, Tasha? I
Yeah.
think it's about 80 years lived experience, but let's not go there.
Oh, don't tell everybody our ages.
I think I've majorly overestimated yours, but I've got ADHD, so I can never
Yes, you
remember it.
have.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that you have, just so that people don't know.
but we do have a lot of experience, and with our children and families between us, and with the jobs we've done in the past, and it being our hyper focus, we are in a
Yes,
good place to be able to kind of help, I think.
definitely. I think we've both researched this, like, complete gone down a rabbit hole
So
for
many
months and
rabbit
months and
holes.
months and
My whole
months.
house is a burrow. Like, it's a big rabbit hole. So
And we're
tell.
we're
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say we don't help each other because it's both of our special interests. So between the two of us,
We never switch off.
we don't switch off. No, but hopefully that benefits all the people,
I think I'm sometimes
in
message you at
Patreon. And
4:30 and say, I'm down a rabbit hole. And you're like, oh my God, so am I.
yes,
You're
yeah,
normally making a resource. I'm making a resource that's really going to help people.
4:30 a.m.
Yeah,
Tears for Fretzy.
I know. But autism's like, go to sleep. And ADHD's like, no, let's play.
Exactly.
What's the one thing that you wish late diagnosed adults understood about themselves, Tash?
Um, I think probably the biggest thing is that there is nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
Nothing. Uh, there's a lot of grief that comes around
Grief
when you
and
have a
relief is what I tell people constantly. Grief and relief.
definitely it's grief and relief. It's like a dual contradictory bundle of emotions when you get your
And an
diagnosis.
identity crisis, which we've always
Yes.
really had, but now we've got another one.
And I think that so many late diagnosed adults look back and reinterpret their whole entire life through this, through this lens of them failing until
Failure.
they get
Failure.
their
Yeah.
diagnosis. Yeah.
Yeah, our mental
Um,
health and our nervous system is pretty much buggered by the time we get our diagnosis, if we're lucky enough to have got one yet. Because, we've had a life of stress from masking or being told we're not good enough, and our nervous system's shot to pieces. Our self confidence is in tatters. It doesn't just affect us in one way, it affects us emotionally, physically, like in every single way.
100%. And I think that a lot of the struggles and a lot of those things that have happened finally all click into place when, once you've got your diagnosis, you realize that you were trying to get through life with the wrong information, the
Yeah,
wrong support, which is where the relief comes, because you, once you've processed it and can move through that grief, the kind of relief of, actually, I'm not broken, I'm
yeah.
not, there's nothing wrong with me, I was getting through life that wasn't that no one ever told me that this is what I was struggling
I'm
with.
just a dinosaur and not a fish. Do you remember when I made that analogy?
Yes,
That was like a
exactly.
revelation to me. And I found, like, I went to school with fish and I was being taught to be a fish, but actually I was a dinosaur. So it's like we've been taught with the wrong strategies all along. So it is a grieving process. And sometimes we're angry. Like, I felt anger at times, even at my parents, thinking, like, God, you've put me in some really shitty situations, what I wouldn't put an autistic child in. Like, I've been made to wear clothes that are making me freak out and told, like, stop being weird, like, what's wrong with you. There's been a lot of situations that if they would have known I was autistic, they would not have put me in, I'm pretty sure.
Definitely. And I think that feeds into kind of what I was thinking about saying next was, needing sensory safety and needing that rest and structure, or just different ways of being or working in the world, is not wrong. It's just different. We've been so accustomed, or maybe that's not the right word. It's been so ingrained in us to
Yeah,
be a
it's
certain way in
ingrained.
society, like neurotypical is the norm. But
Yeah,
what if neurodivergent was the norm and
I
not
sometimes think it
neurotypical?
is.
Like, exactly, like the amount of
Don't tell
people.
anyone.
No, but we are awesome. We are
Yeah,
awesome. World should be more
geared up for
accepting.
us. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so
exactly,
too.
exactly.
So, what's the biggest misunderstanding about executive function? And do you know what? Executive dysfunction. Now I know the last 10 years I've known all of these buzzwords to describe it, like executive dysfunction, RSD. And before I was just saying, like, oh, I get upset when people reject me, or, I'm not very, good at doing things. Now I have all of these technical terms and it's gave me so much power to describe myself. So, what do you think the biggest misunderstanding about executive dysfunction is?
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying there. Like, once sometimes having the language for something
Yeah, the
is
knowledge
really
is power.
powerful.
It's definitely
It
given me power.
it
And for
is.
my
It sounds
children as
cheesy,
well.
but it's not. It
Yeah,
sounds cheesy, but it's not. Knowledge is power,
yeah,
especially language, to be able to self-advocate and explain things for yourself, because you know what things are now. And I think the biggest misunderstanding, or the biggest difficulty for perhaps others who don't experience this, is because it's invisible almost. And we mask a lot. It's kind of perceived as, why can't you just do that?
yeah,
Why haven't you got the motivation? Why can't
yeah.
you just get up and put
Why
that thing
can't
in
you
the
help
cupboard? Or
yourself? Like, yeah,
exactly.
you're spending all this time thinking about it. Why wouldn't you just get up and do it? Like, if I've got a headache, which I get quite often, I'll have a migraine. My headache tablets will be on the table in the same room, but I can't bring myself to get up. It's like there's some physical barrier. And anyone else would say, That's weird. Like, why wouldn't you just get up and walk across the room?" I can't describe that to people other than neurodivergent people. And before I'd
Yeah.
think it was a fault of my own and it was only me. Now I know, especially from having our AuDHD group on Facebook and having Patreon and being friends with you, I know that it's actually normal for us.
Yeah. And I think well, pretty much all neurodivergent people are trying incredibly hard, and
Yeah,
have to try way harder than someone who doesn't have executive dysfunction.
yeah.
And quite often it's not because they're not motivated or they don't care. They care really
Because
deeply,
I
but that
spend
makes
so
it
much
more
time
overwhelming.
thinking about the fact that I'm not doing it, that I could have
Mm.
done it a million times in that time. So it's not
It's
that
like
I'm lazy.
it's like being stuck behind something. Like, you know what you need to do, but you can't, and you desperately want to do it, but
Yeah,
internally you're like, get up, do it, but you
yeah.
just can't connect your brain
Honestly, it's
to
the
the
hardest thing
step.
ever. And especially when it comes with autism, because I really want to be the most organized, regimented person in the world. Like, I yearn for that. But I can't execute it because of the ADHD side of me.
Yeah. And AuDHD specifically it makes executive dysfunction particularly challenging. And that's not to say that someone with autism or ADHD without the other one doesn't experience
No, God,
difficulties in
I'm
this,
not
but
saying that at all. Yeah.
absolutely not, no, because as we know, neurodivergence as a whole comes with executive dysfunction. But the push and pull of autism and ADHD,
It's
you
like I
know,
have two people in me just fighting against each other constantly. I've even
exactly.
named them, like, here comes Johnny. Like,
I've seen that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like there's two personalities inside of me that are just constantly fighting against one another. And I've had that from childhood. Now I can look back and I can laugh and I can say, oh, now I know the language to interpret it. But then I was so flipping frustrated. I was thinking, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. And you think about, if you think about how, knowing now what you know about your AuDHD, knowing now the challenges that the internal tug of war and why it happens, going through your whole life, not
Yeah,
realizing that that's what's going on, it's no wonder we get to the point into adulthood and we are absolutely depleted and our
100%.
nervous system is so burnt
We've
out.
worked so hard.
Absolutely, just to get through without realizing that
Yeah.
that's what's been happening.
And all the time telling ourselves that it was us. Oh, it's just us. It's just because Ellie can't do it. And it is. It's a hard life. It has been a hard road, I think, for quite a lot of us.
Yes, yes, 100%.
So why do you think, that leads me on to my next question, why do you think that neurodivergent people struggle with shame so much?
I think it's like we were saying, so because many neurodivergent people just grow up being corrected,
Yeah.
just more
Yeah.
than
There was
validated.
always one. My mum always used to say, "There's always one," and I mean, my mum's great. Like, and my mum's great. She just didn't know I was neurodivergent. But she'd say, "There's always one, and it's always Ellie." Like, it would always be me. Like, I've got a lot of siblings, but it would always be me that had the problem, or always me that couldn't do something. So I've grown up all my life being the one that hasn't achieved and putting myself against these perfect siblings. And actually, ironically, they are bloody perfect, to be honest. My siblings, they're great people, and they're very accomplished. But then there was always me compared to them, and I've just always carried this sense of shame. And it's not my parents' fault. It's just what happens, unfortunately, sometimes to neurodivergent kids.
And you're bringing out the coach in me because I want to say to you, well, what is perfect? What does perfect mean to you? Because that's
It
our
means my
perception of it.
siblings. That's obviously something I internalized over the years, because I see this perfect life that I'd like to execute, but it's not something that I can do. And now I've come and I've set my own goals, but I do feel like I'm quite far behind a lot of non-neurodivergent people, because it's took me on a bit of a detour and it's affected my confidence being neurodivergent. So I do feel like it's I'm not exactly where I want to be yet.
Yes, and it's very much a journey. And I think if you've spent years being criticized for things that are actually linked to neurodivergence without realizing, you
Yeah.
can start to believe the problem is actually your personality and
Yeah.
not your neurology.
And I think that's why so many of us suffer from RSD.
Yes, yes,
It's
and
got to
come
be, yeah, it's got to be a thing.
and
I've just had an epiphany.
and I think the shame, like the RSD and the shame, it comes from that feeling of not being able to meet other people's expectations that are easy for other people. The simple things like remembering appointments or keeping things tidy or managing friendships and messaging people back in what's an acceptable time, or
Yeah.
you know when these basic things are hard, even though there's genuine reasons, we blame ourselves. And I think that's why the validation and this discussion that we're having is really important, because
Especially,
it's
yeah. Especially when you've surrounded yourself with neurotypical people all your life, or your
yes,
siblings are neurotypical. It's easier with you. Sometimes I say to you, look, Tasha, I can't text you back. I'm having one of them days, and you completely understand it. But when you're friends, or surround yourself with neurotypical people, you feel so much more shame, because I know when I tell you, you understand, and I don't have to feel shame. But there has been so much shame I've carried my whole life from not being able to do things that my other people have been able to do.
yeah. And I think that's why, like, things like this podcast and our Patreon and the resources coming from people with lived experience can be really validating, because when you know that there is a reason for your difficulties,
Yeah.
I think the shame can start to sort of fizzle away a little bit,
It's a hundred
because
percent, 100%. Especially when
yeah,
it's from neurodivergent people. Because I remember as a child, I went to the therapist and I'd sit down opposite her and I'd feel like, I feel nothing in common with you. Like, you're my therapist, but I feel no common ground. But you know what? When I meet our clients and people in our AuDHD group, I completely feel like we've lived a really similar life and we're in the best place to advise them.
yes, I agree.
So I think it's important that it's lived experience from AuDHD people.
Yes, yeah. The lived experience part is so important because it's a very unique way of experiencing the world.
Yeah.
That if you're not AuDHD, you're not going to completely relate to.
No, I've met so many like people specifically in our ADHD group that say, "Oh my God, if you lived the same life as me, like I wish I knew you as a child because we have so many same stories." I shared a post the other day that was about making up imaginary friends in your head, and I just thought it was something I'd done as a kid. Apparently, it's a neurodivergent thing. Within the first day, it got like 500 likes, and there was people inboxing me saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know that this was a thing other people done." And I've met so many people through our AuDHD group that are like, "Oh my God, I feel so much better now because I'm not alone in the world. It's like we have loads of siblings out there."
And I think that it's, the videos like that are really powerful, and it's great that you're able to do those because it almost gives a voice to people who aren't able to express that yet, or
Yeah.
feel embarrassed or feel shame, and actually to see your videos of you embracing who you are and talking about who we are and what we experience without shame can help people hopefully move more towards that as well.
Well, when you met me, when a year ago, I couldn't even upload a photo to Facebook. I didn't even
Yeah.
have my WhatsApp profile photo as myself, and now I'm making videos. But I've realised through meeting so many people that it's needed because autistic people don't look or act a certain way. Once you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person or neurodivergent persons. So I feel like we have to advocate for so many people. So I feel like I've put myself out there, and yeah, and I want to make videos, and I want to show people that they're not alone. And yeah, I feel really passionate about it now.
Yeah, me too, me too.
So what made you want to start creating these resources? Like, because you were doing your work as coaching, what made you then think, "Oh, you know what, I might be good at resources"? I know because you're bloody good at stuff like that. But but what made you think, "Ah, resources are the way forward"?
I was just finding that, I mean, coaching is brilliant, and you can access coaching, wherever you are in the world. But some people aren't ready for one-to-one coaching, or some people are too burnt out to speak to somebody on a regular
Yeah.
basis, or just not quite ready to take that step yet. And I think making workbooks and toolkits, they're all self-paced, they're all gentle. They all come from everything that I've learned from my coaching skills. So it gives people that time and that freedom to learn
Explore it themselves.
differently. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also they're accessible, more financially
So
accessible. So
accessible. That's what I think about our Patreon. I feel like it's really accessible help. So I always say it's like a crossroad between coaching and nothing, because there's this middle ground where we're kind of,
mm,
me, I'm quite hand-holdy. So, a lot of our people on our Patreon, they get in touch with me when something's up, or they feel they can get in touch. I feel like we offer the world a kind of handhold through these resources and through these things. So I feel like it's a middle ground between coaching and no touch. It's a light touch point.
and especially with AuDHD, I feel like there's either no resources at all,
Yeah,
or they're very clinical,
so clinical.
and medical, and with huge gaps in how do I actually live my life without, in a supportive way, without feeling patronized or talked down to by somebody who perhaps
Who
doesn't
doesn't
quite
live that
understand.
life? Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's powerful because it comes from our own experience in language that isn't often explained to us.
That's why we need so many ADHD people to advocate. We need people to start advocating because we need people to be the mouthpiece and the voice because we need it. We are we have needed it all along, and it's just coming to light now, and I think it's so important.
Yeah, and not everyone has immediate access to things like diagnosis and therapy and
No,
support in the
it's
workplace. So
crazy expensive, and you have to sometimes
long
jump
waiting
through.
lists.
Yeah, you have to jump through a lot of hurdles. I remember when my children, they're 20s now, but when they were all getting diagnosed with some kind of neurodivergence, there were forms that I had to fill out, and I've got ADHD. Filling out a form would take me a year, and then
I
I'd
hear that
lose
all the
it.
time.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
lose it, not put it in the post box, then I'd have to apply for another one. The whole diagnosis process took years for my children because I just
it's
couldn't
madness,
execute
isn't
it.
it? Yeah, it's
It's
not
crazy.
fit for
What
purpose. It's
not to
definitely not
ask
fit.
ADHD people to do? Is that process. If we fail that process, I feel like that should be our diagnosis.
That's a good point.
No,
That
I
would make
lost
it
the
easier, wouldn't
form.
it?
Yeah, yeah. No, you're definitely ADHD.
I
The
lost the
form,
form about 10 times. Does that count?
the form
100
did
times?
get to you on the third time, but it was covered in ketchup and a shoe print.
My dog ate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my but it got to you. God loves a trier.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so yeah, not many people do, there's not a people that are on long waiting lists, or they haven't got any support in between to just
Yeah,
and also I think what we offer as well is a community. We've got our Slack support
so
community,
much
which,
community.
it's also that it's having access to other people who understand, who, even if you're
Because
not
it's
diagnosed,
I
you can still access it.
exact self-diagnosis. That's another thing I was going to say is completely valid. You do not have to have a diagnosis to be part of our anything. We're not sitting there at a desk taking your diagnosis. You can't be in our group if you're not got a diagnosis. I think self-diagnosis is completely valid.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because there's not much out there for people who just aren't sure.
Yeah. If you
Or
know, you know, I think. I
I
think when
think,
you know, you know.
yeah, you definitely. And once you know, you can't not know. You see it so much more
Yeah.
clearly. But I think as well, just one other thing to add would be that although we are AuDHD and then some, a lot of our resources and a lot of our content is very applicable to people with ADHD alone.
Yes, 100%.
So if you're an ADHD listening to this thinking, oh well, I'm not sure if I've got all the autism side, please still check out AuDHD and then some, because
Yeah, I'm
it
sure you
crosses
can
over
relate to
so
me.
significantly. Yes, 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 yeah.
100%. Also, do you want to explain about Flourish with neurodiversity? Because I think that confuses a lot of people, because we also share some stuff for the Flourish Hub and, the Hub for Flourish and Flourish with neurodiversity. And a lot of people have said to me, are you AuDHD and some, or are you Flourish
Yeah, okay, yeah. So Flourish for Neurodiversity is a separate, is
entity?
separate to, or yes, there's AuDHD and then some, but it's all ultimately me and you work really closely together. So
Yeah.
AuDHD and then some is more, it's more a
Y-
membership. It's a subscription from lived experience. We post lots of content and
Although we do
resources.
on Flourish with, sorry, Flourish is kind of your baby, even though I help out with some Flourish things. Flourish is your baby, and then together we gave birth to all the HD and some.
That's
Um,
a good way of describing
it
it,
is
yes.
a good way of describing it. It's very Ellie-like way of describing it. But I feel like it also is a membership, because with Flourish we have a membership, don't we? A subscription.
Yes, yeah. So we do have the AuDHD and then some, which is our first kind of membership, which is self-paced, like we were saying, very accessible. And then we have, through Flourish, you can upgrade to tier 2 and tier 3, but that is more if you need sort of daily messaging or daily phone calls. We
Yeah,
use it
like
like
I'll
a
just touch
PA.
upon it quickly. Like sometimes, I've got a few clients with Flourish, and what I do is just basic handholds. I'll ring them in the morning and we'll see what their list is, and it's a bit of body doubling, to be honest. But I just wanted to lightly touch on what we do in Flourish. Well, the part of Flourish that I do, but you do lots with Flourish, obviously, because it's your thing.
Yes, yeah. So if anybody's listening and has some spare time, they can have a little look at the website, which is Flourish for Neurodiversity. But yeah, it's all neurodiverse support for ADHD, ADHD adults, adults with Tourette syndrome,
Yeah.
and parents and children and organisations as well.
Tasha, how was it for you? Was it awful? How did you find this conversation?
That podcasts are not something I feel good
Not a
about.
resource, is it? Yeah.
No, I wish I did, because when I get into the conversation, I really enjoy it.
Because you can talk to me on the phone for hours and you don't
I
shut
can.
up. All I have to do, the difference is, I wish that I could record you without you knowing.
Yeah,
But
the
it
phone
says,
beeps and
we
tells
are
me.
recording now.
Yeah, I think it's just, and again, it just being honest. Yes, I'm a professional, and yes, I understand my brain really well, but I still experience RSD, and I still experience, that kind of self-analysis before I do something like this. Like, how do I sound? What if I mess up? And I think that's kind of my anxieties around it. So I hope I didn't do
Yeah,
that today.
you are only human. That's what people say to me. Like, how do you work with people with AuDHD when you have all of these struggles yourself? And I'm like, babe, that means I'm in the best place to help them, because I know
Exactly.
exactly the strategies to use. Because I think that's what a lot of people find hard. They're like, if you're still suffering with RSD, or you know how it feels like, how are you going to help me to not feel like that? So I think that that's so valid.
Yeah, and having someone say, do you know what, I get it.
Yeah.
I experienced that. I get it, and it's
But I've now
okay.
have strategies to get around it, and
Yeah.
resources.
And resources, absolutely.
To
Don't forget the
upselling.
resources.
I think conversations like this matter because us neurodivergent people are so used to feeling like we've done something wrong all the time, and understanding your brain for the first time changes everything. People say to me, like, Ellie, why have you made your whole personality about AuDHD? Well, the clue's in the name. It's AuDHD, and it's my hyper focus. So, that's why I spend a lot of time talking about it. But I'm so passionate helping people because I wasn't always at this stage where I had these strategies. I've had these strategies from learning about myself, spending a lot of time with you, coaching and stuff like that has helped me to execute these strategies. 10 years ago, I was a completely different person and I had no strategies in place. So I'm so passionate about us helping people to get to that point where we're at now. Although it's not always great, we're burnt out, stressed out mothers and neurodivergents, but we have strategies and a toolbox.
Exactly, and those strategies in that toolbox will change from day to day, but a lot of this is understanding that our needs will change from day to day, our energy levels will fluctuate, our capacity will fluctuate, and that's okay. And I think that's the biggest message, is that it is okay for it to not work one day, for you to have a difficult day. It's
Yeah.
okay if you can't get something done on any one day
Yeah,
without
we
beating
we
yourself
both
up.
have them. 100% we both have them, and I'm sure everybody does. Do you feel like there's anything that I've, in true ADHD fashion, left out about our Patreon that we should share? I must share also, it's fully inclusive, whether you are man, woman, non-binary. It's fully inclusive. Yes, the website's slightly pink, but it's only because it's my preference and I love flowers. Other than that, it's inclusive to everyone, isn't it? Diagnosed, self-diagnosed, everybody's welcome. Race, religion, everything. Everyone can be part of this tribe. I never leave anyone out.
Yes, I think you've covered it. I think you've said it, that it's fully inclusive. It's not put people in a box. Like we said, other neurodivergent people are welcome to check it out. It will apply across a lot of different neurodivergent conditions, not just
And
AuDHDers.
there's only one
Um,
tier. There's the free, well, there's two actually. There's the free tier and there's the paid tier. Because when we first started out, we put a few different tiers in, and then it was confusing the shit out of me, to be honest. Like, as a neurodivergent people, having to remember what's in what tier, we decided just to make a free tier and a paid tier. And the paid tier is a really accessible price. And where we're both obsessed with working, you get a lot of bang for your buck with that tier. You get a lot of resources, a lot of podcasts, a lot of strategies. you know I feel like them two tiers are enough to cover everything. So if you are interested in coming over to our Patreon, there's a link on my Spotify. I will leave a link with this. And honestly, it's really worthwhile. And we've got such a good community. And we join you to Slack, which is where you can have access to other AuDHD people that actually get it.
yes, I couldn't have said that better myself.
I wouldn't let you. You couldn't get a word in edgeways.
I'm used to that. I'm used to it. It's all
I
good.
know. Sometimes it's you, but it's generally when we're talking about resources.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so thank you guys for joining us. Tasha, any last words?
Oh,
No
oh, see, now
pressure.
my brain's gone blank. Thank you for listening, everybody.
I'll let you go. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.